Hello, I'm Toycat, and I'm wearing a hat, and welcome back to the second channel geopolitical video. Today I wanted to talk about Barbados becoming the world's newest republic and parting ways with the Queen. That's right, as of midnight last night, Barbados has removed Queen Elizabeth II as its head of state and become the world's newest republic. This is of course really bad news for Queen Elizabeth II, who until this announcement was the third longest reigning monarch in the world, I mean as well as the second and the first, but this is of course an old Wikipedia page. If you go to the current one, sadly, as you can see, Queen Elizabeth II is only the first and second longest reigning monarch in the world, with now Hassan al-Bolkiah, the head of state of Brunei, proudly taking up that third spot. So it's a good day for all of these other monarchs of the world, but it's a bad day for Queen Elizabeth. I mean, she lost this island, right? But in reality, it's a bit more than that, so let's talk about what actually happened, because fascinatingly enough, at the event in Bridgetown, the capital of Barbados, do you want to see Barbados on a map, by the way? This is that embarrassing point where everyone goes, I know Barbados, but some of you are like, where's Barbados? So, as you can tell, Barbados is an island. It's like one of these probably, right? We're pretty sure. No, this is Barbados right here. It is a fairly small island, mostly known for, I would say like moderately expensive tourism. And the second thing it's most widely known for is Rihanna, which is why it's such a good thing that she decided to attend the event alongside the Prince of Wales, who is of course the soon-to-be king of the UK. I say soon-to-be, I mean it's been soon-to-be for how many years now? Let's find out. About 95 years and 223 days. I guess as many of those days as he's been alive. Anyway, long story short here, the Queen, the Prince of Wales and Rihanna went over to be like, yeah, it was bad that this happened. You guys, congrats on 55 years of independence. No longer do you have to have this random woman from the UK as your head of state, and instead, the change of power has been made, and they have an elected president. However, something I didn't know until I read this article, I'll admit right now, is that Dame Sandra Mason, who was the island's Governor General, because obviously, you know, the Queen is just queen of too many places, like, oh, what? She's not going to Solomon Islands and interfering in their politics, and obviously, even though she's just a figurehead, usually there is some, like, part of the process, politically speaking, in which, you know, she or her representatives have to intervene, and so rather than going to Papua New Guinea and signing laws by ourselves, each of these places has their own Governor General. For instance, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I don't know, I have no idea who it is, but their Governor General is Susan Dugan. There's no picture of her, but she's over there signing some things and being a non-graduate teacher apparently. So every single one of the queens that exist, because Elizabeth II is lots of very distinct people, let me assure you. But if you look around, Queen Elizabeth II, she's not doing these things personally. She has a Governor General, and that was Dame Sandra Mason. However, when there was a vote, they decided to have Dame Sandra Mason be the president-elect of the new nation until there is a new vote, which is kind of fun in my opinion. That they're not trying to be like, yeah, we hate you. They're just trying to be like, yeah, why is this woman in charge of our country again? What's the link there? And so yeah, just interesting stuff you might not have thought about. They had a big ceremony, kind of like the Hong Kong thing. It's nice. They had Rihanna, like I said, and ooh, let's read into analysis. No analysis today. I think I left Minecraft running in the background. I'm sorry. But yeah, basically no analysis today. Instead, what I'm going to say is that here is the map of the world's newest republic. Do you see this right here, St. Joseph? They don't have a queen anymore. You see Crab Hill? No queens for them. You see Hull Town? Is it really called Hull Town? I don't believe that. Oh, you know, it is. They really do have a whole town here. Anyway, so yeah, long story short, this is all now an independent, I mean, it was an independent country, but it's now slightly more independent. I mean, which raises the question, like, what really is independence? But we'll dive into that, some other time. So now let's go into the much more interesting thing. I hate this new feature where Oprah, like, shows the tabs that I have open going on right here. You know what? Yeah, I get it. I read too much Wikipedia. And so yeah, long story short, the Commonwealth of Nations is not again, this is like a big collection of countries. This is where Barbados is still, because what's actually happened is Barbados has left the Commonwealth realms and become a former Commonwealth realm. You might be saying, isn't it a bit confusing? There's Commonwealth realms, former Commonwealth realms, then there's the Commonwealth of Nations, and then on top of that, there's also the British Overseas Territories, which are part of the UK, but also not part of the UK, but don't have their own independence or anything, and they do have Governor General. You know what? What's going on there? The answer is no one has a clue what's happening in the UK. All I can tell you is that in case you think the sun is set on the British Empire, it has in fact not. Also, just as a fun thing while we're here anyway, something, because you know, like, I used to think super fondly of the Commonwealth nations, like, oh, it's cool. There's a bunch of nations where we all, like, get together. There's, like, you know, unique sport games, there's stuff like that. But first of all, there's two very notable exceptions, like Ireland and the USA. Funnily enough, Ireland is, like, very anti-joining the Commonwealth, because they, you know, I don't know why Ireland doesn't like the UK. Can someone educate me in the comments? Could you, like, tell me anything about Ireland and the UK? I don't. Do we have like a history with them? I would love to. Yeah, just tippity tappity type to that comment. I like engagement. And yeah, the other country is the USA, which is funny because if you look into the USA, it might even reference it on this article. But funnily enough, they actually the USA is invited. They have a formal invitation that they've just not responded to for something like 100 years because, you know, maybe one day they want to join, but right now they're just kind of sitting on that. Anyway, so as you can see, some notable exceptions here, but still, it's kind of cool there was a thing. But as I see more and more of the world, I realize that's seeing it through British glasses, right? That's, I mean, not that I'm wearing glasses yet. That's seeing it through British glasses, right? Rose tinted, I mean, whatever color this is, amber tinted glasses. In reality, it's like, yeah, this is like just maintaining ties with nations which used to be much closer tied. And it's the thing where you're like, yeah, you know, we're gonna break up, but we can still be friends with benefits, right? I mean, not all the time. Like, you'll have a girlfriend and I'll have a girlfriend, and like, we won't actually be able to do the benefits because of, but like, maybe we could like have coffee once a week, you know what I mean, like once a year. Yeah, we'll have coffee once a year, and we'll just say we're still together in this like unique new relationship we have. And it's like, we're not gonna go to a friendship, it's something else. And it feels a bit like doing that, right? Where we're like, okay, so Commonwealth realms, former Commonwealth, you know, like, you guys, you can have all of your independence that you want, but just like the Queen will come in and she'll pass laws. She won't not pass laws, but like, she'll pass laws. It'll be like old times, but also kind of like not. And in this case, it's like, so you guys can pretend to be independent, but if anyone asks which country you're part of, you kind of probably have to say the UK. You know, it's different degrees of like holding on to things. But and in reality, some of that is actually very beneficial. Like, having that tiny link to the UK is beneficial for lots of countries. That's why, funnily enough, a country, I want to say, I forget what it is. It's a Portuguese colony actually decided to join. Okay, wait, let's see. Applicants and suspension. Yeah, like a couple of countries have asked to join because it's like, yeah, it is a good way to maintain links with the UK. It is a fun little club to be a part of. It's one of the very few successful organizations of its type, because the one I always think of is the Commonwealth of Independent States, where Russia, realizing that the USSR was dissolving, was like, no, we're going to replace the USSR with, you know, we'll all be independent states, we'll all be great friends, trade body, it'll be like that EU thing, but like better, because, you know, like, you can do whatever you want and still be a thing. And so obviously, as you can see, some countries have maybe taken issue of the idea of being in the Commonwealth of Independent States in the long run. I wonder if they invited Latvia, actually. Do they have a... Yeah, oh no, only Georgia's left. They withdrew as a result of being invaded by Russia. That seems like a fair reason. Also, Afghanistan and Mongolia are observer states, but they didn't ratify it. Also, as you can see, like, the Turkmenistan and Ukraine, like, decided to be foundational states and then didn't ratify it. That's gotta be weird, right? That's gotta be strange. I can imagine, yeah, also when Ukraine was annexed by Russia, they decided to withdraw. You know, it's funny, when you invade all your friends, I don't think they want to be friends with you anymore. But my point here is that, yeah, the Commonwealth Independent States, you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's holding on to a thing. And realizing how you look at other things and using it to look at yourself is probably a good idea. Speaking of that, by the way, just as a fun thing, because the Commonwealth Independent States is called the CIS, I was going to look up their flag for this video, and apparently if you look up CIS flag, this is what comes up instead. And like, I mean, I'm very confused at the idea that this needs a flag to begin with. I'm more confused by the idea that it should come up before the Commonwealth Independent States flag. I mean, what are, I guess it's blue and... What? No, this looks like a straight flag, right? Like, it's like men, women, 50-50 exactly. In my relationships, it should be exactly half men, half women. You know, that's very gender balanced, right? That's you should be, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna make these jokes right here. What I'm gonna say though is that before we go, I think that obviously looking at the UK's complicated history, looking at this whole thing, I think it makes sense. Like, yeah. Keeping the Queen as a head of state is kind of weird. Australia famously voted to not have the Queen as their head of state. And it is a little bit of a weird thing that any of these places had it to begin with. It is very strange that, you know, like so many places have the Queen as the head of state. And it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I guess at some point that might have to decline. Is there a reason for that to be soon? Is there a reason for that to be new? I don't really know. But, you know what? Here's the more exciting news, right? Because, by the way, that same looking at other things, hey, look at yourself, that's why I'm wearing a hat today. I get so many comments being like, yeah, I love what you have to say, but your hair? Ah, look at my hair now. Wait. Try and look at my hair now. Now you have to focus on my comments. I look like I'm a redneck trucker when I wear a hat. Like, well, let me tell you about this Queen Elizabeth fella. She's actually Queen of Papua New Guinea. And as you can see, their anthem is, "Oh, rise, y'all sons." It's very good. And then their royal anthem is "God Save the Queen." Of course, shared by all Commonwealth nations and Liechtenstein, right? Is it Liechtenstein? I'm 99.9% sure. For some reason, oh no, it's the same anthem, right? It's just, for some reason, it's called Obanam Jongerein. That's not fun. Anyway, long story short here. Before we go, Papua New Guinea has the Queen as their head of state, with obviously their Governor General being Bob Dadai, who is a Papua New Guinea politician. And so because the Queen is the monarch of Papua New Guinea, when Papua New Guinea splits into two countries, as you might know, based on, I don't even know where this is going to be in their history, Bougainville. When Bougainville becomes an independent country, it is some amount likely, especially in a time where they're looking for stability, that they also take the being a part of the Commonwealth realm, maybe even with them. And so maybe, even though the Queen loses one nation today, maybe she gains another one in a few years' time. So, you know, it's not all bad news for the British Empire. People say the sun will set on it, but I've looked at the map, and even just current UK territories, there's no time where the sun is set all the way in all these places at the same time. And so, fun fact, we don't need to care anymore. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a good day, and I'll see you all. I've got a video coming out in like a week. It takes some editing. It's not a good video. Don't look forward to it. I'm just letting you know. Don't worry, I'm not gonna neglect you as long as I did this time. Second channel, don't care. Goodbye.